Awesome. Yes. All right. So welcome everyone to another episode of the Holistic Cannabis Show, where I am always your wonderful hostess, Dr. Yolanda Henderson, and always joined by my wonderful co-host.
Ian Henderson.
You here today?
Yeah, today I'm just going to be Ian Henderson. My shirt look nice.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Henderson, can you give all of our viewers outlets to watch the show?
Indeed. Indubitably.
All right.
Check this out. You got your internet browser. Put out your laptop, your phone, your tablet, your Kindle, your iPad, your whatever you got. Right? You put it up. You're going to go to statusnetwork.net right there in the internet browser. Preferably Google Chrome. All right? Statusnetwork.net. If you're on Instagram, you can find our show right now. What it is, IG, we on there. ManifestTV.status. Look for the Holistic Cannabis Show. We on that joint. Guess what? We still got the standby Facebook, Status Network LLC. Holistic Cannabis Show, I'm going to be on the joint like this. All right, you're going to see it. Periscope and Twitter, status_network_. Even if you got the Fire Stick or the Roku, you're going to put in Status Network in the search browser or Manifest TV, then you're going to look for the Holistic Cannabis Show. You're on YouTube, you want to watch us clowning tomorrow or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday before the next time I see you, YouTube it, Manifest TV, Holistic Cannabis Show. I'm on there like this here with the pretty doctor lady. You see me? All right. If you want to call in, no matter what your opinion is, no matter what your question, your statement, you got something you want to say, whether it's popular or unpopular to today's show, you're going to call in 470-251-4647.
So y'all heard it here. We are alive also on Instagram. So right now, if you all are on Instagram or if you're sharing, because we hope you're sharing the show, we're live on Status Network, Manifest TV on Instagram. So if you would go ahead and like and share, do that for us. We'll appreciate it. There you go. So we have a wonderful episode. A topic today is church and weed.
Church and weed.
Church and weed.
Somebody went to church and didn't have no weed.
All right. And also norml, Peachtree norml, who is the representatives of Atlanta. All right. So we're going to be talking about a norml group, which is not Mr. Henderson norml, but the norml National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. All right. So we're going to be talking about those new board members, and we have a great surprise of who's actually on the board after we get done talking to our guest, who is also a board member, newly formed board member of Peachtree norml. So we're going to talk to Chris. Chris, how are you today?
I'm good.
You're good. Great. So we're excited to hear from you. Yeah. All right. So we're excited to hear from you and talk about a little bit about what you got to advocate for and how you're helping out in the advocacy groups. All right. So tell us about a little bit about your situation in the industry and your health condition.
Pretty much, I got what's called nerve fibromatosis, which is NF1, and I just use the abstract and the oils to maintain the inflammation and maintain pain, and then for maintain addiction purposes, like I'm a recovering addict, so the oil helps with that to maintain cravings and that such. And just for overall health, and then along with the vitamins and, stuff that I got to start incorporating, and just to try to maintain the health of the tumors and for nerve fibromatosis. NF is non-cancerous tumors on the growth of the nervous system, autoimmune system.
Autoimmune disorder. Yes, sir. Yeah, so we are dealing with a lot of autoimmune disorders, and it is sad to say that they have not legalized cannabis for those autoimmune disorders in the healthcare industry. So say for instance, you want to go and get your cannabis oils paid for through whatever source of income or insurance company that you have.
It has to be out of pocket.
It has to be out of pocket. And that is a big reason why you're doing what you're doing, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
Being most people that have a card or, with an oil card are going to be on disability or low income. They're not going to be able to afford $300 to $100 for abstracts and oils and all that. It's expensive.
It is. It can get expensive.
When you can have home grow and still be able to make the oil and have it to where, you can just incorporate it to where it wouldn't be so taxed and expensive.
I agree. I totally agree. So, there's new cannabis dispensaries popping up all over Georgia coming next year. How do you feel about that?
Well, given that I've been to them in Colorado, I've been to them in Illinois and California. I've had a card in California, so it's going to be interesting just to see the ways that they incorporate. I know Illinois, their new stuff, they incorporated 4 different taxes on top of the price of the medicine. So,
wow.
Extremely expensive.
It's going to be expensive.
California, they got it to where, when it first came out there, they got it to where the patients could grow for the dispensaries. Wow. That's what I want to see, some kind of program like that, where patients can grow it and help subsidize their medicine with the dispensaries and essentially help other patients,
That's wonderful. And I really didn't think about that. We don't think about the cost of the cannabis and the oils that was going to be here, because there's a lot of people like myself. I'm a veteran, and we want to know that we can go to the VA and we can get a prescription, a recommendation. Because we can't give out prescriptions.
Not even doing it. They're not even giving recommendations as far as I know as right now. I mean, they are, but they're having to go outside. You can't actually get one at the actual VA, I think they're going to do a pill form, which is still synthetic, which has major side effects.
Right. Wow. Oh, wow. I'm just appalled at the way that
I went ahead and tried their synthetic THC, and it's horrible. I tried it just to appease the doctors, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
Just to prove a point that the natural stuff is better.
It's better. And it's going to work better.
Yes.
All right. So I'm so glad that you're saying this and advocating for people who have insurance and need this to be able to afford it, or who can afford it, because guess what? When those doors open and those grand openings happen, who's going to be the ones in line? Is it going to be the ones that can afford it, or there's going to be the people who can't afford it but still need it? Because I got a lot of people in the community that need it.
When Georgia first came out with the bill, it was actually a guy named Reverend Carl Davis who helped do the bill, and he was exempted through religion. So it's been around in Georgia. It was underground, and he got away with it. Governor Kemp even signed it to where he was able to exempt it. And then when he passed away 3 months ago, now they're all trying to make money off it and do their 5% off the top. And because for a long time, for over 3.5 years, I helped that guy do and distribute the medicine in Georgia, and he wasn't messed with.
Right.
He was exempted.
And he didn't have a dispensary license?
No, it was all underground. He was getting it shipped in, and I was able to help under, quote unquote, under the Reverend of Georgia. He was a bishop. So that's how
religion.
He was able to have me help him.
So under nonprofit and religion, I have heard, and we did talk about last week on the show, that they will farmers can give nonprofits cannabis medicine to give out if you are a religion or under an exemption of a nonprofit.
Yeah. He was an Orthodox. He was under Orthodox.
Orthodox Christians.
Yeah, and his name was Reverend Carl Davis. He's the one who helped start it in Georgia.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, I actually want to plan a memorial on his birthday in
Okay.
Piedmont or somewhere up there to honor him. Because if it wasn't for this man, none of this would be possible
Would be
in Georgia.
possible. And nobody ever talks about him, huh?
Some people do. I mean, there's a lot of people that do know about it, but I want to follow. And I don't have the T-shirt on right now, but that was one of his quotes was to call on the Capitol to release the oil to patients.
Yes.
And I periodically will go up there, and they'll recognize him, and then they remember me, just to remind them, we need to transfer it to oil. Because I got another friend. Her daughter's got some disorder where she has seizures. She's a baby, like 24 hours a day. It's G5, 6 or something. And they give her CBD through the pharmacy, pure CBD, and it's through the Atlanta CVS specialty pharmacy. But yeah, it's just a money thing. It's just really different.
It's different and it's difficult. So by you being on the board now, so congratulations for being a board member. We're going to try to get some changes done. You're going to try to get that changed in legislation and in the law books, right?
Yeah, I want to do that, and I want to attend actually your school, the Atlanta Cannabis, I think.
Yeah, the Atlanta, Georgia Academy of
So I
Cannabis
can
Science.
learn more about it, and so I can learn more and study it more. So
Yes.
it's like a blessing that happened like 10 years later, because this was a dream of mine 10 years ago, and
Yeah.
I didn't do it because of my addiction. I dropped out, and now it's like this is coming 10 years later, and I'm able to help Georgia start it and push it, or not push it, but help start it in Georgia, pretty much.
Awesome. All right. Well, we thank you for all of the work that you've done and how you've been advocating for years. And along with the great bishop, the late great bishop, we want to send our condolences and well wishes to everyone who has benefited from his progress here in Georgia, and to see that it's happening and it will be up and going for the oil next year. We still have a lot of work to do because there's a lot of people who still want flower, so they want to be able to consume it and smoke it.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody should have that choice of how they want to consume.
Yes, flower is good too. Yes.
And consume cannabis like any other state. Georgia is not going to have probably not as much revenue as they would have had with the flower, and I'm just talking from, other states. You can see when the other states' dispensaries open, how there was lines, just literally around the building, people, waiting outside for the cannabis dispensaries to open. And if we could have had flower, I'm sure that there's going to be a big difference in, and nevertheless, it's still a medicine, and we believe that True Leaf is going to do what they're supposed to do. Mr. Henderson, what do you have to add to that?
Well, pretty much everything that I can add to it, y'all already covered it. That's one of the things that I said was going to be the issue with cannabis in Georgia, is that nobody was going to really, none of the decision makers were really going to take it into consideration that people use it for a medication. Instead, they was going to put profit over people. And that's one of the things that we're seeing right now in Georgia is the mad dash for cash, not the mad dash to make people have access to this medication. That's not what we're saying. Everything that's done with the cannabis movement in Georgia, of course, it's all about the money. It's all about the money first, and then if the money looks good, then we'll put our resources behind it.
That's right.
But even though it's slow, it's still going. So I'm glad that it's still going. Slow motion is better than no motion.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, so we have another preacher who was talking about it and saying that it's a good idea for cannabis businesses to go ahead and start actually teaching the youth and the young men how to cultivate and grow cannabis on their farm. What do you feel about that?
Oh, what do I feel about that? That would be interesting. I think that if I would have got to do that in my generation, being younger, yeah, I think that might, because there's a lot of people on the streets that yeah, I think that might actually work. Maybe, yeah.
Great, because you said you would have turned out a little bit different. You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
If your church was cannabis friendly,
Yeah.
think your life would have been different?
Yeah, I think things could have gone a little bit different in my life. They could have, yeah.
Awesome.
So I had some kind of structure or some kind of, because I mean, for someone to get in trouble for it, for a medicine, when you first come back from another state that's legal, it's kind of, it follows you, and now there's a lot of people that can't get jobs, and
Yeah.
it's not good.
Right, and they can handle cannabis probably better than us. We teach it, right?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, definitely. Because
Big-
that's what they do to make their money illegally on the black market. So why
Yeah.
not put an effort to do it to make it legal, and then it would make them not want to fight and shoot and kill everybody.
Exactly. Because you will be chilling. You'll be at home with some food, a
Exactly.
bag of
And if we
chips, some
incorporate the
fruit, if you're healthy like
homegrown,
me.
yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for that. We want to appreciate you for coming on the show. But first, congratulate you for being board member for Peachtree Normal. Exciting. And also, the other board members, we want to congratulate while you were on the phone. Okay. So, my wonderful dear friend, Ms. Valerie Valdepena, is the board executive. So we want to say a big congratulations to her. Yes. So, and then we want to say congratulations to Deputy Director, Mr. Rob Carte, and then also Communications Director, Mr. Todd Hadell, Secretary, myself, woohoo! Yes, Dr. Yolanda Henderson got that position for Secretary, and Treasurer, Mr. Chris, you. Thank you so much. And then Outreach Director, Mr. Justin Jones. So we want to just congratulate everyone. We'll have everyone on the show periodically throughout the months and the next year. And so this is all the way to 2023. So these are the 2023 through 2025. So we're the new upcoming board members. We're just congratulating all of our everybody that's on the team. NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. We're going to try to change some laws, Mr. Henderson, and advocate. Right. We can't do that, but advocation is very, very key, especially education as well. So we're going to try to get education out and to those who are miseducated or that has no education. All right. Well, thank you again. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right. Thanks. All right. So you heard it here. New secretary. I'm just so amazed. Normal.
Secretary Dr. Henderson.
Yes.
Dr. Henderson's secretary. Which one gonna be?
I don't know. I just say I call myself a board member.
Hot sexy mama with a.
And then, I've never done anything like this.
Yes. All right.
That's all right.
You got it. You got it. That's right. All right. So we're going to talk about Mr.
Speaking of church and
Right. Pastor Jamal Bryant.
You'll pull up at Sunday school, it ain't gonna be the same.
It ain't gonna be the same.
Around here, around 55th and Winston. But over here at Newburgh, We call it a 20. My boy is coming through, boy. My boy is coming through. Hey.
Oh, we're
Reminds me, look, go check
call
the
us,
DMs.
right?
Check the DMs. Because now, you know what I'm saying? Now, I think that it'll be it'll be a great thing for everybody to, just kind of like step back and understand that you got a couple of different things at work here.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have the opinion that, hey man, you shouldn't have any of that kind of stuff. You shouldn't have cannabis at the Lord's house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's look at how many people sit in church with blood pressure medication or painkillers. Sit in church.
In their purse.
And the painkillers, the basis ain't but two things.
Mm-hmm.
Cocaine.
Go on and tell them.
Or heroin.
Go on and tell them. Say
you
that.
would rather sit in church
With heroin.
with cocaine and heroin in your purse,
Woo.
and then clown, because in the back of
With
the
the
church,
Holy Spirit.
they growing cannabis.
Woo. Jesus,
Well,
help us, Lord.
so then you say,
Education.
all right, how can the two be incorporated?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the book of Genesis
Okay, go on and tell them.
talks about every seed bearing plant.
Tell them about it.
It talked about herbs. Let me tell you. See, if you're getting to the Bible a little bit deeper, there were several times that canna-kabosh oil was mentioned.
Ooh.
Somebody said, "What is canna-kabosh oil?"
What is cannabis oil?
Canna-kabosh oil is a very expensive oil that was used to anoint bodies. And guess whose body was anointed with this oil?
Ooh.
Exactly. Mary, why do you seek the living amongst the dead himself? All right, check this out. The lady who washed Jesus' feet with her tears.
The alabaster box.
Alabaster box. But what was in the alabaster box?
CBD
was
oil.
hemp oil. All right. So now you got to keep in mind now, cannabis wasn't illegal until quite some time after that. The Chinese used it. The Chinese used it in their medicine. So at one point in time, this cannabis thing that we talking about was legal. So for people to say that it have no place in the Lord's house, well, you got to go back and see how old the Lord's house is. Because the Lord's house is a little bit older than the United States legislation condemning the use of cannabis. So do I think what Mr. Bryan is doing is a good thing? Well, let's look at it from another standpoint, financially. Because of COVID, people have chose to stay at home. Right? Church attendance numbers are not as high as they were pre-COVID. Well, by him offering this course, he can offer the course and the members on roll can actually finance it through tithes and offering. You have a sustainable product that you can now, as you teaching a young man how to farm, you can also teach them the business aspect of it. And now you have made businessmen. You have made fishermen amongst men.
And God's scripture, I just wanted to quickly add that God wants us to be prosperous, and in being prosperous, good health. All right, so that comes from the book of John. All right, so if y'all are Bible readers and you all understand the Bible and the scripture, you understand about reaping and sowing, or sowing and reaping, and then also understanding about God's desires for our lives. And if you are not in tune with what the Spirit is saying in this new day and in this new season, then you're going to be left behind, because this is a new thing. When you've been oppressed and you've been seeing that there's medical industry that are telling us that we cannot use such a medication, and it's also being approved for patents in the Library of Congress to be able to help people, especially those with cancer, autoimmune disorders, and such on. Why isn't it that we've been oppressed to get those kind of medications? Why is this plant been such a well-kept secret for so many years? Why have it been ostracized for so many years? Why are we just now finding out that it does so many great things to the environment, that it does so many great things to our bodies? So you have to ask yourself, the question is, what has been holding on, or who has been hiding this information from those such as those believers who believe that God wants us to be in good health? He wants us to be prosperous.
Well, that was part, right. And then too, you got to understand that for a long time, the government controlled the people through the church.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
But that's been going on. We're not just talking about the American government. Pontius Pilate, Julius Caesar. Right, we talking way back in the day. They have always used
the
Pharisees to control the people.
Yes.
The Pharisees, the Sadducees, right? They were all,
y'all know who those Pharisees are.
People. They would tell the people that, hey, you would have to sacrifice this in order to make the gods happy. You would have to give up one of your strongest oxen. They would tell the people, man, if you want to be prosperous, I mean, there probably wasn't no limit back then to what they would tell the people that they would have to give up, right? So a lot of the times, religion is used to control, not to help you, not to help you better your quality of life, but to give you these rules, and you follow these rules. But what happens when it's time for them to follow the rules, though? Yeah, that's the question that people really need to be asked.
When you hear stories as such, we just talked to one of our guest speakers who worked with a Christian Orthodox bishop who the governor signed off to be able to distribute cannabis oils to patients. When you hear that kind of stuff, and then you have DEA doing drug busts on people who need medications for their own health, who are getting in trouble for being able to sell it or grow it for themselves and for their health, then we have a problem. We don't go to court. We don't, plead that we're religious. We don't go and say that we got Indian in our blood. We don't go and say that we have a right under the U.S. Constitution to be able to take part of our health that is going to be sufficient for us, not just the people who make the laws, because the Constitution is what it is. It is, the government does not have the right to be able to tell a person not to indulge in cannabis.
But see, another part of it is, right, because we already know that everything that's about cannabis is about some money, right? Right? That plays a big part in it.
Right.
Whether it's profitability or whether it's licensing fees, it's all about some money. But check this out. Throw this out there. A church is a non-taxable entity, right? So if this non-taxable entity is growing cannabis with the intention to sell that cannabis, it's going to cause a problem.
It's going to cause a problem. Right? So they got to give it away. It's make donations to those patients.
They could either give it away, and of course it's going to be a long list of red tape for these churches to go through to even be putting that out there to the community like that. Because if he's not attached to a processor, which can turn that flower into oil, and Georgia's laws is that flower is not good here, right now as far as selling it. There's still, even though the preacher had a good intention, right? But we have to look at tax code. Because who's the actual owner of that land that the preacher want to grow this on?
He said that it belongs to New Birth.
And if it
So-
belongs to a church, then it belongs to a collective.
Right.
That means that
The
that's
board.
going to have to be brought to a vote.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The intentions is good, but if all parties not agreeing, it don't matter how good the intention is. So he would actually probably fare better if he would have maybe kept that announcement under wraps. If he don't have the people on board, right?
Right.
Because just because him and a couple deacons say it's good, but if you got 12 deacons on the board,
All of them have to vote.
all of them have to say
Or the 50%,
unanimous. It
right,
had to
over
be a
50%,
majority,
right.
Right, it had to be a majority. So
Right.
if the majority says it's cool, then it don't matter what the naysayers do at that point. So, prayers to that church and to that congregation as they discuss which path they're going to go, because it is very lucrative.
Yeah.
It's a very good substitute for the financial part of the church body, right? People always complain about this man living good, taking the money, blam, taking tithes and offerings. Where this man is right now, he doing something that can increase the revenue for the church. And guess what people doing? Blam, I'm not doing this at church.
Well, especially because of the rumors and the things that has conspired in the church, I can see where a lot of people are kind of putting him under the bus. But there's a lot of things that free will. We're Christians. We're supposed to believe in God's free will choice to do what it is that is what God wants us to do. And I recall the scripture that you was what you was quoting, or you was trying to say earlier, comes from Genesis 1:29, where it says, "And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, and which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed.
Really?
To you it shall be for meat." And so that is basically saying that is what we're supposed to be benefiting on our bodies, our temples of the Holy Spirit. Not the chemicals, not the pharmaceuticals, not the synthetics, but for those actual seed bearing fruit. All right. And those seed bearing whatever, the herbs. All right. So y'all heard it here, Mr. Henderson. We got a video clip of Mr. Pastor or Bishop Jamal Bryant, and we wanted to go ahead and let him discuss what's going on.
Hit it.
We had to trust in faith, and so it's been a journey.
Yeah. When they were pursuing you, when did you know that God said this was okay?
Let me tell you this. So I really wasn't in the running. Bishop Ellis from the Bahamas was overseeing the process and asked me to come fill in a Sunday to preach while they didn't have a pastor. So I said, okay. So I came the fifth Sunday in August of 2018.
Okay.
They had 152 candidates. I wasn't in it.
152 candidates.
Yes, from pastors from literally all over the world who want this. New Birth, for those of you who don't know, holds almost 7,000 people. I walk in there, Rashawn, is 750.
Wow.
I sit in the chair and I look at them 750, and God said, "This can be your church." I'm like, "No way, not me."
Nuh-uh.
I left out of there, got to Atlanta's airport, went through TSA. First call I get is from my dad. My dad was living in Chicago at the time. Says, "Hey, man, I saw you preach at New Birth today." I didn't tell him I had gone.
Oh, you didn't even let him know? Okay.
No. So he says, "You really did well today." I said, "Oh, thanks." I said, how'd you see it? So he said, "My flight is delayed in Chicago, and you just popped up on my timeline and I don't even follow them. Rashawn, he then says to me, did anybody talk to you about being the pastor?
Your daddy,
said, no.
your daddy said.
Oh, yeah. So he said, He said, let me know if they call you. And then the rest is just history.
So he, as an anointed man,
yes,
knew.
Yes.
He knew.
He knew immediately.
How long ago in your life did he know that you were even anointed to even be in the ministry?
Yeah, my dad knew that I was called to preach. He never wanted me to pastor.
What's the difference for people that don't know?
Okay, because my track has always been in civil rights. So I saw myself in the line of Reverend Sharpton, Reverend Jackson, but not over a local church. When I was at Morehouse, I was a pre-law political science. I went to Duke for grad school, initially for law school. And, your 8th grade teacher tell you always need math the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I didn't believe her until I got into real estate law.
Oh, right.
I didn't know what was happening. Rashawn, I walked across that campus and signed up for seminary so quick.
I know what I do know. I know the law.
Yeah. But I don't know these percentages at all.
At all.
Yeah, get me out of here.
Yes.
So he knew that I was called, but really didn't think that I was going to go into pastoral ministry, and I didn't either.
Yeah. But then you walked into it. Was it begrudgingly, or was it like, okay?
So I was National Youth Director at the NAACP, overseeing 70,000 youth across the country, college campuses. And in 1999, Kwesi Mfume was our president. Mm-hmm. And at our national convention, he got laryngitis and asked me to give the national address.
Oh, Lord. See, this is what happens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I give the national address. I'm at that time 27 years old. It's the biggest night of my life. And it's the first time I'm in USA Today. I'm on CNN as civil rights leader to watch at 27. I get off of the stage, and Dick Gregory is there when I walk off the stage. The Dick Gregory. Rashani grabs me by my collar and throws me up against the wall. And I knew who he was from my parents' records.
Of course.
But I had never met him before. And I'm going in my speech trying to figure out what did I do wrong. And I don't know what kind of family-friendly show this is.
It's very family-friendly.
Okay.
Or not. You be you. Okay.
So he said the N-word and threw me up against the wall and says, you are out of order. So I said, I'm out of order? He said, when I was growing up, black people, when they were in trouble, would call on two names, Jesus and the NAACP. He said, you are a part of a generation that doesn't call on either. He said, you belong in a church. Dick Gregory, who didn't even go to church.
No.
Didn't even believe in church. So I tell people all over the world, it wasn't T.D. Jakes, it wasn't Creflo. Dick Gregory called me into pastor. So after that started my journey towards being a pastor.
Dang, so this is not something that you were like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Because even though you grew up in the church, you saw, obviously, your father.
Yeah. But I saw myself being Mfume's successor. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to go into NAACP. Lifetime.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen.
Yeah. And so you started in this world of ministry.
Yeah.
You know, how does it feel for somebody who didn't want that life, quote unquote?
Yeah.
But then you were called to that life. So now you're dealing with Jamal,
Yeah.
the human,
Yes.
and Jamal, the calling.
Yeah. You can't be called, and for those of you in mental health, please hear my heart. You can't be called and not function at a level of a bipolar reality. Because you are hearing from God while talking to people. And so you have dual citizenship, that you have to bless those who use you. You got to pray for those who despitefully manipulate you. So to have to walk that tightrope is a difficult one, and I don't think most people understand what comes with that.
Yeah. And you've been, Pastor Jamal, you have been, highly publicized for things that have happened in your career.
Yes.
And in your walk with God.
Yeah.
But I think the beautiful thing about you is that you've been able to be amazingly human in your walk.
Yeah, I didn't opt for it. I'm almost the Gary Coleman of the gospel. I grew up in front of people. So I had a mega church by the time I'm 31.
Yes.
Yeah, so most of the people who people know on the stage, they know them in witness protection. Yeah, I mean, so they take in marital advice from Joyce Myers and don't know that's her second husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so
Right.
I grew up in front of people. No, really.
Yeah, I know.
I grew up in front of people and went through what I call my bro mitzvah of becoming an adult while being public. So going through a divorce with Giselle due to infidelity from me. There is not, people want you in spirituality to assume that that means maturity. And it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Both of us know athletes, just because you get money don't mean you have sound judgment. And so preaching at that level, people who say money doesn't change you never had any. You know what I mean? So I'm 32 with a Bentley. It don't matter what you do, whether you a lawyer, whether you playing ball, or whether you're a preacher, it's going to impact your life if you don't have that grounding to do it. So preaching became my profession and not my call.
Melt into your holiday moments with Lindor from the Lindt Master Chocolatier.
My boss texted to pick up these gift cards and send them the PIN numbers.
Because I didn't, Rashawn, at 30 with a mega church, and I'm on TBN every day. I'm on Daystar every day. I'm on the Word Network every day.
And then you look this good.
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm being real.
No,
like
testify.
this is a lot.
Yeah,
it's
say it all.
okay. I did.
I'm not stopping
I just
you.
said it.
Yeah,
okay.
no.
So
Yeah,
and
but
you
I'm
look
saying-
this good at 30,
Right.
and
But-
you've never experienced this type of attention.
But on top of that, at that point, Rashawn, I don't.
Or at least have this type of conversation so that they can try to change their thought process.
Yeah, because I'm mindful that I'm not after Christians. I'm after people who don't go to church. And a lot of churches are just recycling people from other churches. That's not who I'm after. I'm looking for people that smell like weed. I'm at a place, Rashawn. Really, New Birth is the largest land-owning black church in America.
Wow.
And so my position to my deacons is, why aren't we not raising cannabis? I'll be able to bring in black males. They're able to do it legally. I'm teaching them farming.
Oh, my God.
I'm helping them to enhance the ecosystem. This is the kind of conversation. So if the guy, black boy in Bankhead said, they growing weed at the church, where do I join?
Yes.
I don't need no pamphlet for him. Yeah,
Right.
He coming in.
He coming in.
And that's the group that I'm going after.
That's different.
Yeah.
You're different. But you've been different from the beginning. I think that's why God.
But Christianity, Rashawn, is supposed to be different.
But it's
We have made Christianity politically correct. That it is a puritanical gospel that is reminding of us of the 13 original colonies. Everybody got on the road singing out of a folder. We sitting down at the appropriate time. We got to be out in time for brunch, where everything else has no real boundaries around it. You at FAMU, I'm at Morehouse. If the game goes into overtime.
All right. Mr. Henderson, you heard it here. What do you think?
I think we got to change the way that we talk about cannabis.
And the names, the terminology. We got to get educated.
We got to get educated on even how to have the discussion. Right? A lot of people, when they hear the word cannabis, first thing they think of is weed. What is that?
What's the difference?
Weed.
Right. There's a difference.
There's a difference between hemp and marijuana. It's a big difference. He say, "Hey man, bring me the people that smell like weed." Well, if you smoke hemp or CBD, it'll smell like weed. Mm-hmm. Don't necessarily mean that you smoke weed. Mm-hmm. You smoke hemp.
Right.
All right. So, but like I said at the beginning of the commentary, mm-hmm. his approach, mm-hmm. his intentions mm-hmm. are very well noted and duly noted.
Right.
The first piece of it is education, mm-hmm. and that's what we're here for.
Right.
Education.
Right.
Cultivation, laws, business, extraction, medical reasons, needs, diagnosis, and business. That's what we're here for.
Right.
So if anybody watching this know how to catch up with Jamal Bryant, tell them how this was.
That's right. All right. So y'all heard my stance on it. I do believe that cannabis it needs to be educated in church. Why not church? We get Sunday school lessons. They have daycares in church. They have different things, and I'm sure that some churches would prosper from being able to make hemp or grow hemp. And I feel the pressure when people say weed and think about marijuana making you high. It's more of, in the state of Georgia, you cannot get a medical cannabis license to grow THC, the psychoactive form of hemp or cannabis, unless you're awarded a license. So there's only been two companies that's been awarded those licenses. So what he's talking about is hemp, you guys. It's not going to get you high in church. Please stop with that mayhem. That was unless you are a hemp smoker. This is for hempcrete. This is for CBD oil. This is for your basic necessities in the hemp industry that we are allowed to grow, $50 an acre on your land. You will get that from the church, not the psychoactive. Right. All right. You're not getting this. You're not getting this.
You're not getting this at church. Check this out. This is the Mac. The Mac attack. All right, look. The strain effects of people who reported using this strain was happy, relaxed, and hallelujah, uplifting. The strain flavors is citrus, peppery, and orange. All right, when you put a bag to your nose, that's what it's gonna smell like. This strain, out of 100% of people who surveyed it, 21% of people said that it helped them with their stress. Mm-hmm. Out of 100, 21 people said that it helped with their anxiety. Out of 100, 17% of the people said that it helps with depression.
There you go.
See that?
It has medical benefits.
Also known as Miracle Alien Cookies or simply Miracle Cookies, it's a hybrid marijuana strain made by crossing alien cookies with Starfighter and Colombian. Mac producer creators effects that are happy and uplifting. This strain features a smooth orange flavor that is balanced out by floral accents on a sweet, earthy finish. Growers say Mac nugs are gorgeous and covered with resin. Medical marijuana patients choose this strain to relieve the symptoms associated with stress and depression. All right.
Brittany Griner was freed from Russia prison in exchange for Victor Bout. All right, so congratulations. We're excited that she is home and released, and so she's going through her back entry into the Americans.
Not everybody's excited about that one.
I know, right?
And with good probable reason, though.
Right. There was others left in the Russia.
Not only just that, but we can go ahead.
All right.
Proceed.
Well, wait. We forgot to mention that Deion Sanders is going to Colorado, you guys. Deion, all right? He's leaving, Jackson State, or he has already left. And, they are, feeling some type of way. But, Colorado got that good.
Man, check this out. It's a better move for Deion all the way around, right? To me, it's a better move. Jackson State was paying him $300,000 out there in Cali. He getting a couple million. When did prime time stop being about that money?
About that money.
Dion was the head coach at Jackson State, but don't believe for a minute now that Dion didn't have young staff.
Yeah.
And those young staff members, once Dion told them what was happening, those young staff members have family, kids, and career to consider too. So if they looking up to Dion put his team on, then it's only right that Dion move on, right? Second thing you got to look at, Colorado is a Pac-12 school.
Right.
You're a Pac-12 coach and you going to the championship, you all through history.
History.
What's next after you coaching a Pac-12 school? What's next after that? Get you an NFL team. See, Dion's life have a progression too.
Order steps.
Right. You gotta let that go. Ride on it, Dion.
All right. So if you're in Texas, we are joining forces with Mount Pilgrim Free Will Baptist Church to give out toys and toys for tots. Mr. Henderson with NTH Credit and myself with the Holistic Society and the Gift of Life Community Home will be there on the 17th. So if you are in the area, please register at the link below.
Jingle bells.
All right, so New Jersey regulators approve cannabis consumption lounges rules. So there's some consumption lounges that people are able to go to, like a nightclub, and consume your cannabis. So, all right.
Jersey needed something though, because
Yes.
the Atlantic Casino is where New Jersey was getting a lot of this money from.
Right. All right, so POTUS signs law amending federal rules governing cannabis research and drug development. So under the new law, the Attorney General is providing with a 60-day timeline to either approve or deny applications from scientists wishing to conduct human trials with cannabis.
I want to do one.
All right. And then in study, medical cannabis legalization associated with lower rates of opioid use among cancer patients. All right. So medical marijuana legalization was associated with a 5% to 20% relative reduction in the rate of opioid dispensing to adults younger than 65 years receiving cancer treatments.
That means if you're a cancer patient, get you some cannabis.
That's it. All right. In Missouri, legalization takes effect. Details, if you want to go to NORML, Peachtree NORML or NORML, National NORML. Connecticut governor announces intent to expunge 40,000 plus marijuana-related crimes. And in NORML report highlights citywide policies depenalizing marijuana law enforcement. So details will be at NORML. If you all are gonna join NORML, Peachtree NORML, okay? Also, the review medical cannabis retail access associated with lower rates of drug overdose mortality, all right? And so the measures related to cannabis dispensaries were generally consistently associated with lower drug overdose mortality outcomes across multiple studies, investigators concluded. And in another clinical trial, CBD gel is safe and effective in Fragile X syndrome patients. The study is the largest double-blinded, randomized, placebo-controlled clinical trial over conductive involved FSX patients. All right. And then the action alerts. Federal, tell your senators to pass cannabis policy reforms for this year.
Hear that, Warnock?
All right. And going on right now through Tuesday is Bridging the Divide with the Hope Global Forum at the Hyatt Regency Hotel here in Atlanta. And if you cannot make it in person, here's where you can go and watch it online. Facebook at the Operation Hope. Can you go back for a second? There you go. At Operation Hope on YouTube, it's at Operation Hope, and LinkedIn as Operation Hope. And it is going on through the 13th. All right, so if you all didn't get a chance to go in person, we're going to be doing some live footage from there in a few minutes. You can meet us there, or you can watch us on Facebook or YouTube. All right, so live and in person, Raphael Warnock is going to be there. There's also a lot of other guests that's in the building today. So, and the rest of this week, a lot of CEOs. Bishop T.D. Jakes is also on the lineup. T.I. is also in the lineup. So, live and in person, we'll see y'all there. We're also a job fair and career expo. We're on December the 12th, which is Monday, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. At our new location is a job and career expo. So we're hiring. We're also looking for bilingual people. So if you speak Espanol, please give us a shout. Come by, bring your resume. If you are a nurse, please bring your resume. If you are a youth age 16 to 24, or you have a youth age 16 to 24 and you're looking for work over the winter break, please let us know, and we're hiring at this fair on the spot. So come out on Monday, tomorrow, to be able to be considered or hired on the spot. All right, Mr. Henderson, anything you want to share with us before we get out of here today?
Let's go.
All right. Well, thanks again for watching. We hope you all learned a lot today. Again, go and join Peachtree NORML if you're in the Atlanta, Georgia area. That is the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. All right, and until next week, same time and same place.